Hi there, it's Ed. Today is a puppet video. So I'm really excited because this weekend I get to perform my Punch and Judy show, which is not something I get to perform as much as I would like. Now I really like performing my Punch and Judy show because it's really high energy. I get to ad-lib a lot, get to do the voices live, so it's all things I really enjoy. I usually only get to perform Punch and Judy at festivals, and this weekend is a big festival coming up, and I get to perform it twice. But before I perform it, I'm going to need to do a little refurbishment on the puppets. And I'll show you what I mean. And here is my Punch puppet. Now, I can perform my Punch and Judy show anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes. So when I made him, I wanted him to be very light. I performed another Punch puppet, which was made out of a wood putty and was super heavy and extremely difficult after you perform him like this for about 5 minutes. This is actually, if you want carpal tunnel, do this with weight on the end of your fingers. Just like recipe for carpal tunnel, right? I wanted to make him as light as possible, so I made him out of a styrofoam ball with a few extra pieces that I carved and attached, and then I covered the entire thing with paper mache and smoothed over the skin using something called modeling paste. Now, when I built him like that, I realized I was sacrificing some durability to keep him light. And as you can see, some durability has been lost because he has quite a significant crack there in his nose. I'll have to repair that, and he's got a crack here over the eyebrow, and I'll have to do just a couple of other paint touch-ups. But today I'm going to take you through the process of refurbing Mr. Punch so he's ready for his big performance this weekend. Alright, so Mr. Punch, all ready to be touched up?
I'm ready for my touch-up, Mr. DeMille.
This is the modeling paste I'm going to be using to do a couple of repairs on the cracks. Again, not necessarily the most durable material, but gives it a nice smooth finish, so that's what we're going to try. So for some of the cracks, I'm almost trying to use this like a spackle, for lack of a better term. And when I go across kind of a small crack, I will try to go across the crack, perpendicular to the crack, to try to fill in the areas to make it a little more uniform. Also, try to pull the ends as flat as I can because I will need to sand this after it dries. So try to cut down on that. Hard to get rid of the brush strokes, but that's why I buy sandpaper. Alright, so we're going to let that dry, then we will sand, and then it will be time to touch up the paint. So here is Mr. Punch after having the modeling paste applied. Found a few extra pieces that were correct, a few places, so I went ahead and repaired those. We're going to let this dry for about 24 hours, and now we're going to sand those smooth. I'm going to be using 150 grit sandpaper to begin with, and then smoothing out a little bit with some 600 grit. So, here we go. Time like this, I feel like I need to have sanding sticks, like to use for models. And there we have a sanded Mr. Punch. So now we move on to the painting. Touch up some of the paint job there. The nose is still a little rough, a little wonky. I suspect that he will need a major rebuild in the near future, but he will work for this weekend. So here he is, all sanded up, ready to be painted. I did use the 600 grit sandpaper. I just neglected to record that part. But anyway, here we go with the little painting touch-up. So what I'm trying to do is get the teeth a little more defined. And so what I'm doing is I'm resting my pinky on his chin so I have a little stability as I grab. I also find that if I hold further up on the brush and not down at the tip, then I have a little more control, oddly enough. I don't know why. It works for me. And here he is, the finished product. This is a refurb Mr. Punch. Looks pretty good, doesn't he? Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of imperfections. Still a bit of a significant crack in his nose, but at a distance of 10 or so feet, I don't think you'll notice that. Alright, hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about some of the techniques I used or questions about why I used them, which is a valid question, please leave a comment below, and otherwise, we will see you. Goodbye all. Ta! Maybe I can get some sponsorship if I show Eggland's vest.